Welcome to the Research Reimagined podcast, brought to you by Nottingham Trent University. I'm your host, Helen Darby-Dowman, and I'll be inviting some of NTU's brightest minds to explore how their research is helping us to deepen our understanding of the world. From online addictions to transgender rights and sleep disorders. Listen as we discuss some of society's most pressing challenges and uncover some of the ways our research is making a difference. You've probably heard a lot about cryptocurrencies in recent years, and since the launch of Bitcoin in 2009, there's been an increasing amount of interest in the ways these digital currencies could play a part of our day-to-day lives. Believe it or not, thousands of cryptocurrencies have been created since Bitcoin, and many believe cryptocurrencies will soon become a common way of buying and selling everything, from products and services to houses and cars. But will cryptocurrency really become mainstream? Will it replace physical currencies that we're all so familiar with carrying and spending? Or will it gradually fade away and be forgotten about in years to come? Today I'm joined by Alexander Brauneis from Nottingham Business School, who's going to give us the lowdown on cryptocurrency, what it is, where it came from, and what the future holds for the likes of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that have appeared over the past decade. Welcome, Alex. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So can we just start with telling us about what cryptocurrency is and how does it work?
So I guess everyone will know Bitcoin, which is one of currently roughly 20,000 cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are basically an application of a technology called blockchain. So this can be understood as being a database. And the database stores who owns what. So that's a cryptocurrency. Blockchains are different though to traditional databases. It's not stored in a central place, but many people that interact with each other, sending cryptocurrency units to each other, can have a copy of this database. So it's decentralized. And that's the key idea of cryptocurrencies, not having a central authority that keeps track of everything that's happening, but a network of peers, people like you and me, and everyone can store a copy of the database that keeps track of who owns what. So that's basically the idea.
And so how is a cryptocurrency actually created?
Well, actually, it's simply a piece of software. So you get this software and run it on your computer, and a couple of thousand other people do the same, and this creates a network. It uses the internet. And if you join a network, then you simply get a piece of software that you run on a smartphone or on your computer, and you will be able to transact and send coins or receive coins from anyone else in this network. So at the very beginning, it's just an idea. Bitcoin's idea was published 15 years ago, almost exactly 15 years ago, and subsequently some people created the software that was needed to run this idea or put it into reality.
And what's the actual benefit to those that are using cryptocurrency for trading?
So 15 years ago, we've seen a massive financial crisis, and banks were basically speculating with funds of the clients and customers. And a group of people or a single person called Satoshi Nakamoto came up with the idea of replacing the traditional banking system with this new idea of Bitcoin, which was intended to be a peer-to-peer payment system. So the benefit of people using Bitcoin instead of the traditional banking system would be to be not exposed to central authorities that can misuse your funds. So that's the benefit, or that was the intended benefit.
And so what can people buy, or what can you buy with cryptocurrency? Like, does it have a value? Is it the same as what we're used to seeing with the currencies that we use?
Yes, it's the same with every sort of money. Whenever someone accepts being paid in cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, or pounds or US dollars or euros, it's simply the mere fact that people accept it makes it valuable. So actually there are a couple of, not only a couple, many stores and merchants that accept cryptocurrencies as a means of payment. Most prominent example, probably Tesla, which accepted payments in Bitcoin 2 years ago and then retreated from doing it. But if you simply search on the web for stores, merchants that accept Bitcoin, you will definitely find one in Nottingham, for instance.
And are there use cases for crypto other than payment systems?
The idea of having a network of people that interact with each other, and they use sort of a reward system. So Bitcoin could be the coin that rewards people using the Bitcoin network. There are plenty of other blockchains, cryptocurrencies that are used for a different thing. So I guess everyone will have used software like Google Drive or Dropbox. So storing data online is a thing that does have a value. And you basically do it by getting a subscription for Dropbox, for instance, which is a company. But you can do the same thing on a blockchain. So you would have a network of people. Some would want to store data online, and some are willing to store the data on behalf of others. And they would be rewarded in a cryptocurrency. So for instance, Filecoin and Arweave are example for blockchain-based decentralized data storage. You can run supply chains on blockchains. So track the origin of something that any good that is then shipped to somewhere else and sent to a store. And the way of from origin to the store can be stored on a blockchain. So this is another thing that you can do with it. And there is a coin that is used to keep track of everything that's happening in the system. Gaming is another thing that can be performed with blockchains. And again, there is a token, which is a similar word, a synonymous word for coin, that is used to run the network. Also, art can be digitized and tokenized on a blockchain. So you create a piece of digital art, and this is represented on a blockchain. So there are plenty of applications apart from payment systems that can be realized by using a blockchain.
Talk to me a little bit about the risks, because obviously it's not governed in quite the same way as banks, or has not got that centralized system. It's obviously used by individuals, and there are these blockchains that are created. Can you talk to me a little bit about what the risks are? Because for many of us, obviously, it seems quite an unknown quantity of where is our money actually going.
The risks of so this technology is not that new. It's 15 years since Bitcoin came up, but it's still a new technology. And as of today, there are as many cryptocurrency users as it was in the year 2000 with the internet. So we are at a very early stage of this new technology and all the things it could be used for. And it's the same with the internet. Who would have bought anything online in the year 2000? So there was always this bad feeling of having a risk of not receiving the things that I ordered, sending money to somebody that simply takes it away from me. I think it's the same with blockchains. We're still at a very early stage. There are a couple of things that need to be resolved. So there's the risk of the technology not being as far advanced. We still definitely will make some mistakes. But I think it will be the same as with the internet. So we learn by making mistakes and improve the product. And as of today, internet is quite secure. We use it every day. And I think the same will happen for for cryptocurrencies and blockchains. If you trade cryptocurrencies, which many people do, we have trading volumes of tens of billions of dollars every day. So people trade it, but it is a very volatile asset class. So you can easily double your money within a day, but you can lose a lot of money in the same period of time. So these are definitely the main risks, being a volatile asset class in terms of price action. And the other thing is being a new technology, and therefore you have this technological risk that you are exposed to if you use it.
So is it actually secure? Is it like financially and legally secure?
It's definitely not illegal. So launching a cryptocurrency is not illegal. You can create one within minutes. That's not a big problem. And the question of what you do with this cryptocurrency is then makes it legal or illegal. So we have seen a lot of scams and frauds and hacks around within this ecosystem. But still, this is something that people need to learn, and it's the same with the internet. We've seen scams and fake sites or websites 20, 25 years ago, and the same happens to cryptocurrencies right now. We also see governments across the globe starting to release a legal framework for cryptocurrencies. So this adds another layer of safety for people using it, or at least it will add another layer, since this is happening as of now. And for instance, the European Union only released this year this guidelines for crypto assets. The same is true for the US or the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK. So they started taking care of legal issues in the context of cryptocurrency only recently.
As there is no central bank or government, well, you're saying that these are now coming into place, like to manage the system, but there still isn't actually a centralized bank or government managing it. If you were to have some cryptocurrency stolen, how does that, or become a victim of fraud, how do you get that money back? Is there an organization that helps you with that, or is it just gone?
So let's say you're using a cryptocurrency exchange. So you send your money, your real money or fiat money, to a company that lets you trade your real money for cryptocurrencies. If something should go wrong at this stage, then you're likely to get your funds back. However, if you send your cryptocurrency to some other network participant, so you have your account number or your wallet address, let's say in the Bitcoin network, and you send some funds to somebody else, and this is simply a fraudulent member of the network. So you get tricked, basically. Then you would not be able to receive your funds back. So once you approved a transaction, it will be for forever. So once on the blockchain, it stays there forever, meaning that you don't get your money back.
Give me some examples of how. Well, actually, let's change that question. So, who creates the cryptocurrencies? Like, obviously, like you mentioned at the beginning, there's now many. Like, how many did you say there were?
Depends on what websites you're using, but at least 10,000.
So there's 10,000 cryptocurrencies, and how quickly are they being created, and who does create them?
So it's actually quite easy. So you can create a token on a smart contract blockchain very easily. That takes you a couple of minutes. So it can be done by everyone, and then you have a digital asset that can be sent from one member of the network to another. So the second biggest cryptocurrency is, after Bitcoin, is Ethereum. This is another blockchain, but this blockchain is smart contract capable. So you basically can run computer code on that. So you can create business ideas that can be represented in bits of computer code. Then you send it to the blockchain, it will stay there forever, and this code does something. And one way of using this smart contract blockchains is creating another currency, or the correct word would be a token. So I can do it, I did it, but the question is, why should anyone care about this token? So you have to create some use cases for it. And for instance, you could create a fan token. So you label your token the Nottingham Trent University fan token. And everyone having a fan token or a specific amount can get something special at Trent University. So maybe a meet and greet with the Vice Chancellor. So this would be a use case that you then advertise on a website or on the Twitter account or whatnot. And this could incentivize people to buy this token. So because you have a special utility or use case linked to this digital asset. And this is actually what happens every day. So people have an idea of what they could create in terms of product or service, and you're entitled to receive this product or service if you have a specific digital asset that lives on a blockchain.
So do you think cryptocurrency is in a position where we will maybe one day not need the cash or the coins or the currencies that we're currently used to? Do you think it will totally take that away, or do you think the cryptocurrency will maybe just also die out?
I personally think that blockchains and digital asset like cryptocurrencies and tokens will be around, and we will be increasingly using these things. But of course, the opposite is possible as well, that cryptocurrencies completely disappear. I don't think so. At least I think that blockchains will be a piece of technology that we will be using in 10, 15, 20 years every day without even noticing it. So it will be part of storing data, as adding to how we store data right now. And regarding payment systems, so most of the 10 to 30,000 cryptocurrencies out there, they don't even try to be a means of payment. They do different things. So maybe cryptocurrencies that try to be a payment solution will be added to the range of possibilities that we have. It definitely will not completely replace what we see. That's at least what I think. But I think that it will add to simply our opportunities of paying for goods or services in the future.
So if you were to put a sort of time on it, how long do you think it'd be till, most people, if not all people, are trading in cryptocurrency in one shape or another?
So some people say that we will see the same progress as with the internet. So as of now, we have the same fraction of the global population, 5% to be exact, using cryptocurrencies. That's roughly 400 and something million people. And that's exactly the same fraction of people using the internet in the year 2000. So, and if we see the same progress or increase done in roughly 20, 25 years, blockchains should be as much used as the internet today.
And you mentioned earlier that there are still problems, there are still things that need to be addressed. I mean, how will they develop? How will they be addressed, and how will they be managed, all the risks and so forth? And kind of what needs to change perhaps before cryptocurrency does get to this projection of that you've just suggested?
So I think we definitely need rules. So whenever someone starts a cryptocurrency blockchain-based project, it has to be clear how this project or this idea will be treated from a legal point of view. So no ambiguities about that. So we see exactly that discussion currently going on in the US, where the Security and Exchange Commission, the SEC, claims that some cryptocurrencies are securities and therefore need to register with the authorities in the US. So we need clarity on that, simply. The same thing goes for taxation. Who runs a cryptocurrency? Is it a company, or is it a decentralized group of people, and no central entity can be linked to this project? So this needs to be clarified. We need a clear framework for running blockchain and cryptocurrency based business models or ideas. When we have that, I think that more people will be willing to engage in this space. So having or getting rid of any risks that might be linked to taxes, to legal enforcement, stuff like that. Also, what we definitely need is safer code. So it's when you run a decentralized blockchain-based business model, you basically rely on computer code, which can be faulty, which can have simply bugs inside. So we definitely can improve on that as well. The prices of cryptocurrencies are enormously volatile. So there needs to be something that gives the market a bit more stability. I think this will come with if the market simply gets more mature, and cryptocurrencies are no longer a super fancy exotic thing to buy, but if they make it to the mainstream, then this price volatility will definitely be mitigated and return to a level that is acceptable. So a lot of things that need to be accomplished, but if the crypto space can do it, I think we have a technology that can be really powerful and make our lives easier or more comfortable.
So where is cryptocurrency most commonly used at the moment?
Two things. One is speculation. So simply investing in a technology that people deem to be important in the future. It's the same if you invested in internet companies in the 90s, so 30 years ago, or bought Amazon or Apple or Microsoft stocks 30 years ago, you'd be rich as of now. And I think people simply see a potential in this technology, cryptocurrencies, blockchains, and that's why they invest or speculate. And another thing that got really big in the last few years are non-fungible tokens, which is basically any piece of digital art, a picture that is represented, or the ownership thereof is represented in a digital token. So this is what many people brought many people into the space. By the way, it recently for a Formula One race, the tickets that people needed to see the race have been issued on a blockchain. So you can use these non-fungible tokens as a ticket. So difference being that it's not a printout or something that is released by any ticket office, but it's a blockchain-based asset that you have in your wallet on your smartphone and use it to see a concert or a Formula One race.
So you talked about the fact that Tesla and Elon Musk actually accepted Bitcoin, but then they've decided that they no longer will accept it. Can you just talk me through maybe the decision making behind that?
I think there are two reasons to that. One is that Bitcoin dropped in price. So maybe Tesla or Elon wanted to get rid of the coins and sell it before they drop even further. And Tesla mentioned the reason for getting out of Bitcoin because it was environmental. It's a dirty investment. So Bitcoin is said to consume a lot of electricity. It actually does, which is part of securing the network or a necessity to run the network. And at the time, Tesla and Elon Musk argued that a lot of this electricity would come from coal-fired plants, which is why an electric car, green company could not be invested in such an asset.
So Alex, for many of us, obviously, cryptocurrency still feels like it's something that we're not really on board with or that we don't fully understand. You've done a great job of explaining it, but if you wouldn't mind, could you just sort of sum up where we're at with it and kind of what we can all expect to experience with it for the future?
I think we're at the stage where we already know what we can do with cryptocurrencies. We have still to make a lot of mistakes, learn from them. But so the key idea of cryptos is decentralizing the society. So removing any central points of failure, removing middlemen in financial transactions, speeding up transactions, reducing the cost. So this is something which the future can hold for us. But even more than that, blockchains are more than financial transactions. I mentioned a couple of other applications: file storage, supply chains, gaming. So many other applications are in the making. We still need to learn and improve on what we have. And if the crypto guys out there are able to do it, then my prediction would be that billions of people will use blockchains in any shape or form and flavor every day, similar to how we use the internet today. But this may take a couple of years or even decades.
So in your opinion, do the advantages of it or the benefits of it outweigh the risks?
The benefits, I would say, benefits of blockchains and cryptocurrencies, it's decentralization, so removing central points of failure, having a safe way to store data, which is immutable, so you cannot change the data and manipulate the data. It's censorship resistant, since this data, whatever it is, what we store, transactions between people, is stored in many different places. So even if there is a rogue government that wants to censor this network, it will simply fail, because it would have to censor or manipulate thousands of copies of the same database. And the downsides of blockchains and cryptocurrencies that live on blockchains, it's a slow way of transacting. So Bitcoin, for instance, is only able to transact 7 transactions per second, while Visa, MasterCard can handle tens of thousands of transactions per second. This will be improved. People are already working on that. Forget that. So there are a couple of downsides to blockchains, but maybe there is a clever way to improve that.
Thank you so much for joining us, Alex, and giving us some insight into the world of cryptocurrency.
Thanks.
If you'd like to find out more about Alex's work, please have a look in the episode description. You've been listening to the Research Reimagined podcast by Nottingham Trent University. For all of the latest news from the research community at NTU, follow us on Twitter at NTU_research, or sign up to our research newsletter by visiting ntu.ac.uk/research. Thanks for listening.